How about
Lamadan
Satya?
gompoche tsunjampe yalla chatselu. Huh? Satya? I'm not sure.
She
Maybe she will
hasn't
come.
officially dropped.
Um, I don't think so. But she's
Okay.
also busy with taking other classes. She's trying to become a Chinese doctor, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's see. Maybe she will show. Ramadan gompoche tsunjampe yalla chatselu. Gangi lo je jibni jinta ni tar namda rapsawe. Jinye jungu ni jin si ji ni ki tu karalek bamzi. Kande zi pe tsunje ma ji mun tom du nga ji zirwe. Jozo kun la bu ji tar ze yen la ju ju yande zu. 루타르 체르조 뉴모니로 레기 차조 조세지 마리 문세 두가 뉴구지네 주제라지남 르네 다시 사치 타즈 연테 무즈 야세 투에고 주다 주다 주니 옌제 다르 문세 잠베 양라드 Omara Bazano di Omara Bazano di Omara Bazano di Omara Bazano di Zede Jeki Cherab Uzegi Dalu Timu Munbarab Sali Kada Teju Yulu Tobai Lodge Pope Nawa Zatu So Kanze Tawar de Pam Chunze Jiwar de Nayang Kunpo Jamyan Chinini Gegme Parayan Tongwar Shu. Welcome to our class today. So I noticed that Kip actually sent me something, and then I thought I should mention, give a little, talk a little bit about nominalized verbs based on Kip's homework. I thought I should mention this because I found it useful when I learned. So I will just share my Word. I'll share my screen on Word. So basically, there is something called nominalized verbs. Oops. You guys know what I mean, right? By nominalized verbs.
Yes. So
Yeah.
a noun, which is form a verb or a verb used as a noun.
The other way, yeah, is a verb that is turned into a noun. For example, we have this one. We know what this means, right? I hope we know what this means. Do you guys know what this means?
Sentient being?
Yeah, so this is the question. Draw literally draw if it was just by itself, if we only had this, it would be to go, right?
Yes.
So when I was in Ranjujeshi, I had a teacher who told me this can be 4 things. So whenever you're translating, you go through these options. Actually, you only have to go through 3 because one is not used in translation. So first, it's like Zan said, the first one will be it's a wandering being. Because draw means to go, right?
Mhm.
So Joa is a goer. It turns into an ER in English. Joa is a goer. Or a wandering being sounds better in English, right? A wanderer, you can also say. But it's usually a synonym of semchen. It's used in prayers as semchen. That's one thing it can be. So let's call it uh just let's call it nominalized, I guess, to give it a name. The second is it can be to go, right? So it's just the infinitive.
Mhm.
Okay, goa can also mean to go. But you will not see this in a translation. Usually this to go in translation, they would not use this form. They will use another form. But this you will see in the dictionary. When you see this, if you use the dictionary, especially the old paper dictionaries, or when you see the verbs conjugated, this conjugation will mean the infinitive conjugation, to go. Now, the third one would be an adjective, actually.
Hmm.
Maybe you want to try, Federico? How can we turn Joe into an adjective?
Well, by using it after a noun, I guess. Uh,
For example, I mean, this is a little bit stretching it. Maybe it's not a common word, but I could say, oh, that road is goable.
oh,
Like it is goable. Like you're taking the verb and you're transforming it into an adjective, basically.
hmm. I wouldn't have guessed that.
But it is that same spelling though.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're all these in Tibetan, in classical Tibetan. It doesn't even
I.
even it tells me it's incorrect, you know. I don't even know if that's a
Hmm.
word. But just for the sake of this, it doesn't
Mhm.
always work. Turning a verb into an adjective. But just for the sake of going through these four, I'm adding it.
Hmm.
And the last one is participle.
Mhm. Hmm.
So participle, actually, there's two participle. There's a
Like
participle with
gone or something. Gone
yeah,
or
gone
something.
is past participle.
Yeah.
There is a present and past participle.
Yeah.
Maybe I should do two branch here. Oops. So A, let's say is present, and B will do past. So the past participle will be gone. Um, do you guys know what would be the present participle?
Hmm. Good question.
In English is weird actually. In other languages, it's easier. English is kind of weird in this, but they would
Yeah.
say actually going.
Yeah. I was thinking
Yeah, yeah.
of
Which is
going, but
normally we think of ing as a continuous, right? Present continuous or past
yeah.
continuous, right? But actually,
Uh,
the example of this would be it's it's like a form of nominalization as well. For example, the going uh the going to the market was difficult.
mhm.
You know, in this case, that going
Mhm.
is not a present. Like my my drinking tea is a wonderful time.
Mhm.
It is
Mhm.
it's a noun actually, if you think about it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's functioning as a noun. It's not functioning as a
Mhm.
present progressive. Listen to
Yeah.
this. Think about this in English. You will. I never thought about it personally until my teacher pointed it out. I always thought ing present continuous. That's what I learned in my English class,
Mhm.
or past continuous. But the ing also has this function of being a participle.
I think when the same occurs with Sanskrit, where you have present active participle or participle. I don't know. Some people say it this way, some other.
Mhm.
But typically, people translate it like is or wait a minute. Oh, like with an ink form, but in a slightly different way, like being gone or something like this.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a good example.
Yeah, being gone. So you're right. Gone is,
Yeah, it would be the
and then the
past.
past they would translate having been gone, something like this.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
you are gone and you have been gone, something like. But those are clumsy stretches of English to
yeah.
to just somehow get it, which is completely different in Sanskrit or I assume in Tibetan.
I'll just make one more note. This one you don't have to worry about so much, but when you're translating, I would go through these three options, you know, when you encounter
Mhm.
a nominalized verb in your translations or in your
Mhm.
text, you know.
Mhm.
I don't have this anywhere. I just had a note of this, so you guys can take a screenshot or take some notes
Okay.
of this just to keep in mind.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to mention this because uh, I hadn't talked about this, and also it's not in our book, you know. I think, but I think it's very nice. It's a
Mhm.
very useful thing to see. So you can think, let's do one more just for fun. I guess it's not letting me, whatever, we'll do it here. For example, what could topa be if we go again through this? Anybody wants to try?
Sorry.
You guys know what this means, right? Topa, do you remember?
Obtain.
Yes, exactly. So if we take topa through this list of four, just as an exercise, what would the first one be if we nominalize it?
I'm embarrassed to admit I didn't hear Zan's answer. So what does that mean again? I know I should know.
Oh, attain.
Attain.
Attain, yeah.
So it would be attainment.
Yes, correct. Oh, I don't know what my letters shrunk.
Yeah, that happens to me. So I'm not sure.
Okay. Attainment. Then the second one is to attain, right? What would be the third one? If we
Oh,
go
by
like
that. Yeah, yeah.
the adjective,
Yeah. Attainable by this
attainable, yeah.
pattern.
And the fourth,
Well, attaining and attained.
yeah, correct.
Following the pattern.
Just for fun, maybe.
So on this on the particle or participle is that synonymous with the verb tense, or is this is a this is using this form as a participle that would be something other than the classic verb tense of that verb?
Well, the participle could be, here I put present or past.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the participle doesn't imply the tense necessarily, because there is present participle and past participle.
Okay.
Yeah, but the conjugation is, you can think of, for the past participle is always like I have done something, right? Or I had, actually would be right. I had gone, because I have gone is present participle conjugation, but in this context, the present participle by itself, it has an ing in English. So this is how it would be expressed in English. Just think that it's an ing, but it's not the ing. It's not the ing as in present continuous, like I am drinking. It's the ing that functions as a noun, like the drinking, tun, 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 you know?
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. It's not the ing as in, catch yourself when you're speaking to someone in English. Think, oh, how am I using my ing? Because we use it all the time, actually, we use this ing all the time as a um, not continuous, no
Mm.
present continuous or future continuous or past continuous, right?
Mhm.
I will be drinking, I am drinking, I was drinking. This is the continuous form.
Mhm.
For example, if we don't think about this in English because it comes out, right?
Mhm.
Naturally, subconsciously.
Yeah, it
If
is
you
just on that point. I do this whole class. I mean, again, I'm just not. I know I keep saying this over and over again, but I'm not a language person. I'm trying to fix that. But this class has made me. So sometimes I will utter something in English, and then I'll think, "Wow, if I was if I was trying to break that down, what I just said, or explain it to a non-native English speaker, I couldn't do it. I mean, so I do that
Mhm.
the language, the native language that I take for granted, that the subtleness or sophistication or sloppiness of it is just yeah, it's just again, this is all very, very humbling. And this has again even made me deeply appreciate English, which I understand is I don't know whether it's an easy language or complicated language or what it is, but yeah,
the
this is all
grammar
very nuanced.
the grammar is relatively easy, I would say, in English grammar, but what is difficult is the pronunciation, you know.
Yeah.
The etymology is really all over the place, because what happened in England is they were conquered by all sorts of people, and then they didn't standardize the grammar. They kind of
Mhm.
took words
Yeah.
from this culture and they kept the same spelling. They took words from another culture, they kept that same spelling. So it's just
Mhm.
like a mishmash of whatever, basically.
Mhm.
Whereas for example, in Spanish, there is this real Academy of Spanish, and they set the rules, and like you're supposed to spell it like that. Obviously it's breaking down now because Spain, some in Latin America, people don't listen to Spain so much anymore.
Mhm.
But in England, that seems like that didn't happen. In Tibet, also this happened to some extent under King Chisudetsen, right? For classical Tibetan. And this is the issue we have with translating Tibetan into English now, because everyone translates the way they want. And then this is the value and the importance of knowing the Tibetan term, like I was saying last class, because then we know the standard term that was
Mhm.
what is being translated. Everybody translates it differently because they have ideas of how it's best translated.
Well, this was my initial motivation to learn Tibetan. I figured if I don't understand it, no hope to somehow sort out this mess, because you always get translated terms and texts, and everyone is doing whatever he or she
Yeah.
wants.
Yeah, exactly. So now when you read an English text, an English Tibetan book, you can read, you can see, or maybe you will see what they have translated as such. When you read, you're thinking in the Tibetan actually.
Yeah.
So that happens to me when I read these translated books, even if it's a Dharma talk that has been translated. For example, there is these really nice books. They're all Dharma talks translated from Kalu Rinpoche, the previous Kalu Rinpoche, the second one. And he's a really great Kagyu master who lived last century. Wow, his talks are really, really amazing. I really resonate with him. Or Changu Rinpoche also. And I can see, if I read their books, I can see, oh, like, he's for sure speaking Tibetan also, because in Tibetan they use these rhetorical questions all the time, just in normal speech. Like if I'm saying in Tibetan, I would be saying like, oh, if you ask, what are the four combinations of Jungwa? Then they are this. Dun, 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 dun. It's just the way they speak, the normal speak. In English, it sounds weird, because nobody speaks like that. But in Tibetan, there's always these rhetorical questions, and Gampopa is doing that in the beginning of our text as well, right? That nice. If you ask, if you ask, this is like this. It's always everybody speaks like this in Tibetan. It's like it's just the common way to speak, And these things translated into English, they sound kind of weird, I guess. So, let's do this one just to drill it into our brain. So this would be
To arise or appear, something like this.
what
Coming
would be
forth.
the first one, which we have as
Oh,
nominalized?
like appearance, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Or we can also say, actually, appearance would be more like Nangwa.
Okay.
Nangwa. I would say more like origination.
Origination. Okay. I think the basic meaning is like coming forth, no?
Yeah, yeah. The appearance, yeah, of appearing. But usually appearance is a translation of this one.
Oh, yeah, again, speaking of terms, yeah.
Yeah, there is
Like
a
a canonical
kind of like
term. Yeah.
kind of like a standardized thing. Nangwa.
Mhm.
For example,
From
yesterday
the
I was.
dictionary, I see element, element for this word.
Oh yeah, Jungwa. It can also mean element actually, but that would be that's not the verbal
the
function.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but actually for element usually it's a jumpo, like this.
Okay.
I think. Let me check. Let's double check. Oh, this.
The dictionary, I see a few words like element, rise.
Actually, no. Yeah, it's a spirit. I'm also looking it up.
Feature, rise, come forth,
Yeah.
emerge, appear.
By the way, could it
How it
be
goes.
emergence?
Emergency,
Like-
exactly. Emergency is a nice one. Yeah.
Mhm.
Emergency is nice, actually. Yeah.
Because then the
Yeah.
verb is easy.
Yeah.
Of course,
You-
origination, originating. Yeah.
But you get the idea, right? Is the
Yeah.
It's that noun. It should be a
Yeah.
noun.
Yeah.
Two is to
To originate, to emerge.
To
Yeah.
emerge, just say to emerge. The third is
Well, it's not so easy.
emergible, emergible, appearable.
Yeah, it's not so easy.
Okay, let's just
There's
leave
the
it.
able behind. Imagine.
Arisable. Yeah, it's
Arisable.
Realizable, yeah.
Yeah,
Arisable.
but the
Yeah,
thing,
well,
the key that you guys know.
I think one should translate it indirectly, able to emerge or something like this.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, able to
Uh,
emerge,
yeah,
or you can say ability to emerge. I don't know, but
Be-
you see
because
what it fits.
attainable. Yeah,
Mhm.
because those construction attainable is actually a shorthand for able to be attained, right? So you
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
just say it in the long way.
Yeah.
By the way, as Skip
Coming
said,
into.
I was not a language person at all. Somehow, Sanskrit for a year or so made me deeply think about language in general, Sanskrit and English and any language. Somehow, dissect everything and
Mhm.
and think of it.
Yeah, it's really useful. So anyone for the fourth one? Our last example?
Well, if we go by this pattern, yeah, obviously emerging and
After emerge exists, but also existence.
emerged. Yeah,
Present and past, right? Participle.
yeah.
Okay, so whenever you see these nominalized verbs, you can also do just take any random verb and run through these four and use it as an exercise if you need.
Mhm.
All right. Now we'll go to our text. We reached to here, correct? Last class?
Yes.
Believe
Yeah.
so. Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
Anybody-
fourth line.
We
Yeah.
stop there.
Anybody want to take this line?
Uh, I've done a lot, but I'm trying to find where we are. Let me. I'm scroll. I have a huge document that I worked on and cannot find. Just give me a. Yeah. So yeah, please. Anyone else going first will help
Mhm.
at least.
So for that, I came up with this too is the confusion of samsara.
Yeah. The confusion of samsara, yeah. I would say because this ladon is the confusion in samsara, maybe,
Oh, okay.
but of it's not incorrect. Sometimes this of, in, at, we have to be flexible in English. I don't think we should think, but it has the notion that this ladon is going towards samsara, right?
Oh, that's right.
Well, I might be wrong, but I somehow figured it's a question. Could it be?
Question because due to Di Yang, the last two words,
Mm-hmm.
Di Yang is also like that. This is what I get.
Yeah. Let's see. What did you guys see the young in the dictionary? Let me look
Which
it up
one?
here. The young. Let me see if I find it together in the dictionary also.
Because this sentence, what I get is that this delusion of cyclic existence is also like that.
Yeah, I also have these as well. I don't have it as a question. I didn't find it as a question
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. No.
because
Maybe
I
I'm
also
looking
have the young
for.
as well.
No, I'm looking for the wrong thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's not. it is not.
Because, and also the question, this is the question for sure coming up next, you know.
Yeah.
So it would be, I mean, there could be two questions in a row, but my sense is that there's these two question and answer. He's alternating question answer, question answer. Again, these rhetorical questions. Is that okay then? Hela, based on his explanation. Therefore, also this is the confusion of samsara, or the confusion in samsara. Of samsara also sounds, I guess of samsara sounds nice too. This is just a preference, by the way. I'm not very, I don't feel like we should be too strict with this of or in, as long as it conveys the meaning. Next one. Yeah.
At least in my understanding, those two sentences are combining to one. So I will, it was a while back, but I will look up how I break it down.
No, actually, yeah, I agree. I would connect them if they sound, even though they're broken.
I have two. Yeah.
No, I would also, now that you say it, actually, I would connect them as well as in English as one.
I have two versions. One is concerning that this delusion about cyclic existence as well. Better one is in this regard, this delusion of cyclic existence is as follows, and then colon, who is deluded? Something like this. So they are something like
they're the same.
Concerning in this regard, and then who's deluded. Something like this.
So so on that point, taking these as couplets, and so if we're on the core of the or we're on the text paragraph, and I think we're beginning with the eighth phrase, and so I think it actually, if it was coupled, it would have been coupled to the sentence, the fragment we ended with last class. If it's one is with two, three is with four, so I think it may have been coupled with what we did last week. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, because of Dela is referring to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dela.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
There is this and lies sort of with respect to that.
Yeah.
I mean, pointing to that.
Yeah. So this is this Dela is connecting it to what was just said. Plus, there is a no here, which is telling us at least that there is the end of some kind of thought, some kind of idea here. Right. Whenever we see an ending particle, that's this function. It's like, you can think of it as a period, I guess. You know.
Okay. Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah, this is telling us, okay, that's the end of one thought.
Yeah.
Dela.
So,
and also this is a connection to. So this is ending, and this Dela is connecting it to that, right? It's not a fully separate idea, but grammatically, that's what it's telling us.
So in fact, those separating lines are not necessarily the end of a sentence. You need to look, you are saying you need to look for something like no or any other of this type.
Basically, yeah, it's a clue.
Yeah.
But even so, then, even sometimes the terminating particle no or lo or whatever is also not the end. Sometimes it's a clue, but sometimes.
So just continuing with that theme. When we wrapped up TLAN Volume 1, we had the uses of we learned initially the particles when they were within a sentence, and then they said, oh, well, then if you have a particle that is used between a sentence, and I guess that was when the particle was um, in association with the verb, and as I understood that, that was when the verb was at the end of, and I know I'm using the word sentence incorrectly, but with the structure that, well, the verb is at the end, and then you translate it backwards, but then if you've got a particle towards the end or associated with the verb, then that particle might have a different meaning between sentences than if it was within a sentence. But in this structure, then, where it's chopped up in this way, when we come upon a particle that might have a slightly different connotation within a sentence or between sentences, how do we know which would we ever see a particle in this format when the text is formatted this way that would be translated as if it was between two sentences?
Which particle are we talking about specifically here?
Oh, I'm asking you, that was just a
Or just
generic question.
generally? Well, generally, there are no sentences in Tibetan.
Mhm.
So, generally, it's you have to use your intuition a little bit, I guess.
Okay.
You have to look at the whole thing
Mhm.
and see, okay, this is what I have. Like if I wouldn't just read this. Like for example, sometimes I'm confused about something and I go and ask Karmalasom, and I notice she never just reads what I showed her. She's like, oh, wait, what's the context? And she goes back a few lines and reads da 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 da. And then
Mhm.
she reads what's after. And then she's like, okay, maybe it's like that, you know? Like it's always like now because before when we're doing those exercises in the Tilan 101, of course they're just little snippets, right? When there's no context, so you can focus on how to translate. But everything is very, very contextual, so I would just keep in mind what's happened so far in the text.
Mhm.
And then you have to as you practice, it'll begin to make more sense.
I just want to
The-
file an objection that I think it's very unfair you're making us try to understand Tibetan in context. I just think that's very unfair.
Yes.
but by the way, this discussion led me to the following thought that maybe the idea of sentences very somehow also contextual and relative. The idea that the sentence is a completely separate chunk is probably not right, and they simply don't have it. So you in writing you could sometimes combine two sentences
Yeah.
with comma. So comma and dot are two levels of separation, but most likely they have many levels of separation. And English also has many levels of separation. And yeah, the comma and the dot is just some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when you're translating, you have to somehow
You have to,
make him fit
yeah,
into sentences in English.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But by the way, yeah,
Mhm. No, go ahead.
my final version for the combination of the second and the third, maybe together with the first, no, just the second and the third. Also, concerning that, this delusion about cyclic existence, who is deluded?
Yeah, that's good. And you see, you have to put this thing in the end before, right?
Mhm.
This young early, because that's the way it sounds better in English.
Yeah.
So you have to sometimes even you have to take an element, and I mean the way I translate personally, I don't know if this I didn't learn this, but somehow this works for me. I just translate like in really bad English, kind of word by word. Like for example, here I would say, oh,
Mhm.
concerning that, in, samsara, confusion, this also, who, confusion, if,
Mhm.
and then I would look at those words, and then I would somehow like arrange it in nice English, That's, I mean, that's kind of just to make sure I don't miss any word.
Mhm.
It's like you see the parts, you translate the parts, and then you kind of see. But there is a danger to that because you don't know. Maybe like there was another part. I think keeps also translation before this chuyul, which goes together. You have to keep an eye if you do it like that you're breaking it down, and the words are the that go together are being translated as a group,
Yeah.
But that's one approach. But I think that's correct, Federico. Any questions about
Well,
this?
if we're looking at those two, and I'll call them fragments, but that second thought or that second fragment there that you have highlighted, if you just look at those three syllables are who, and then confusion or to be confused. I guess whether that is a tamede verb or the noun, and then you have the Latin particle, but then that, and I think I might have asked this, but it's difficult for me to get those three syllables to the translation who is confused, but isn't that what that is?
Basically, yeah, I would say I also had a hard time with this, and I asked Kamanazam. She told me she thinks this is a contraction of a rhetorical question, serna. In Tibetan, this serna is used a lot, like if said or if you ask. In this case, Gampopa didn't put the serna, just kept the na.
Well, this is what I've got from one of the tools. I don't remember which, maybe the dictionary, that na is the question particle.
Yeah, it can also function as a question particle. Usually it's either when or if,
Mhm.
but na, I guess it could also, in this context, it is functioning as such. So let me see what this says. The dictionary says. Yeah, actually, I also have actually I don't see the na as a question, but yeah, maybe if you found it, if you find it again, let us know, Federico.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
you found that.
It was not the dictionary, because looking at the dictionary, it gives when
Mhm.
and if, but not like a question
Yeah.
particle. I don't remember where I got it, that it's a
Yeah.
question particle.
But what is telling us for sure there is a question is this su, right?
Yeah.
That's-
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what is really telling us more than the na. What is telling us that it's a
Mhm.
question is this who.
Right.
Like I was explaining in colloquial Tibetan class, even if we just say who, like if I say oh suyin, that's already a question. I don't need to add the extra question particle. Suyin pe. I don't need to add that pe,
Yeah.
right? It's similar. These are question particles which are listed in our text, like chi, ji, nam is when, su,
Yeah. Laksha
etc.
told me the same, and he listed all these particles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you see these particles, then you know that this is you know what this is. This will be a question more so than for the na.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. This chi also. This chi is telling me, oh, this is probably a question. Unless it's attached to something else also, like we have to also see. Or Chile, right? From where?
Yeah. This was one of them.
Yeah. So, are we clear on this one? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
just last thing. You said it's an abbreviation of what?
Oh, Serna. That's what
Serna.
that's what she thinks.
Serna.
It's not for sure, yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Serna. It's a spell with a sa, like the low pitch that looks like an inverted E.
Oh, okay, okay. The
Serna.
low pitched. I see.
Yeah. It's like if said or if called.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I found. Mm-hmm.
But it's a suspicion. It's not a fact.
Mm-hmm.
It's a speculation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. Who wants to take this one? Sad, do you want to take one? Are you, or it's okay if not? Do you want to try this line?
Okay. Okay. comes from the sentence comes true law. Right. Four sentient beings of the three realms are deluded.
Yes, very good. So who is eluded? This is the answer.
As long
Kamsum
as
gi
we are in
semchen.
samsara, we are deluded.
Yeah.
Samchen.
Kamsum gi semchen tamche tullo. And this law again is telling us to kind of like,
End
okay,
of,
that's
end
it.
of this idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's who is eluded. The next question arises. Maybe you want to try keep.
So for this one, I have what is the basis or ground, I guess, but I ended up with basis. What is the basis of confusion or delusion?
Yeah. Even more accurate because this is a source particle attached with this chi. If this wasn't here, it would be like that, but I would say from what basis does confusion arise, right?
Mhm.
Ah,
Just to be more accurate. It's not incorrect, but because that lay there as a source particle like Chile, right?
so
You know,
from what basis does confusion arise?
yeah. Yeah. Because of the source particle Chile.
Okay.
From what basis does confusion arise? Also, this she is like in the ground, the path, and the fruit, right? Shilam Debu. Maybe you guys have heard that in teachings. It's a system to explain the Dharma. The Ji, Lam, and the Debu. The ground, path, and fruit. This is the same Shi. This is a very Kunji also, like the Alaya is this Shi. This Ji is used a lot. Shi Chile Tulna. So this is our question, and then is that okay, guys? This one is
Yeah.
clear. And what is the answer, Federico?
Tongpa ni le dulo. So Tongpa ni is emptiness. Le is the same le as above from. And drul is the same drul as above, deluded. So something like they are deluded from emptiness, but it sounds better as Kip said, on the basis, sort of, I don't know, they are deluded on the basis of emptiness. Somehow it sounds weird in English. They are deluded from emptiness. They are deluded
About emptiness.
about.
I would
Yeah,
connect
something like
it.
this.
I would connect it with this because it's saying from what basis.
Yeah.
The question.
I will connect it because these two are connected, right? This is the
Mhm.
answer to this
Yeah.
question. So from what basis?
Yeah.
From the basis of,
Yeah, they are deluded from the basis of emptiness.
yeah. It's weird. You have to stretch it in English. It doesn't always
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yeah, it's it's a little bit hard to translate.
But it's, I would
Well,
say, arises from emptiness even.
uh,
Because
well, the most direct sense is they are deluded from emptiness.
yeah, like the confusion is arising from emptiness, meaning that your confusion is also empty, basically.
Mhm.
That's the sense that because later he says yeah, he's basically saying, if you think about the context of the text,
Mhm.
he's telling us that confusion arises from emptiness, and then let me see, where is in the beginning he says Tompanino della Korwashi Jawani Jin Tompanino. He's telling us that samsara and nirvana, right?
Mhm.
They're both samsara and nirvana. Then he's saying that which is called samsara, its nature is emptiness, right?
Mhm.
Then he's telling us that which is called nirvana is rangshin, is emptiness. Its nature is also emptiness,
Mhm.
right?
So you know what? With a little twist, it might sound better and maybe will better convey the original meaning. Not they are deluded like a verb, deluded, but their delusion arises from emptiness.
Yeah, you can say it's based on
Or is
from
based on yeah,
arises from the
is
foundation
based
of yeah.
yeah. But it's difficult to translate because you express things in different ways in different languages.
Yeah, so you guys, I'm not going to make you guys translate. My purpose here is for you guys to understand what's happening
Mhm.
in Tibetan. So,
Mhm.
but this is what the translators struggle through, basically.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you get a taste of it.
I know because in Sanskrit, we were trying to do for certain text the best translation possible in English, and we're
Mhm.
competing among each other. So it's a different ball game on its own. It's very difficult.
Yeah, but you guys understand the meaning, right, of this one,
Yeah, yeah.
these two? Sant, would you take us to the next line, please?
Chu chi le truna. What? Because Jew is cause, chi is what? Le connect the lagoon, and then truna delusion. So cause of this delusion. What is the cause of this delusion?
Actually, this is a source particle, right?
Le. Oh, okay.
Le,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So again, it's
so
Chile, from what
Chile,
cause,
Chile.
right?
Cause. Mhm.
So what is the
To-
cause of this
Mhm.
delusion?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
by
we
the way,
have na again.
yeah. By the way, Federico, before I forget to say this is not quite tool. This is like tool. It's like a very much aspirated,
Uh-huh.
tool.
Tool.
Yeah, because I heard you say
Tool.
tool, like it sounds like a draw,
Mhm.
like to go, but it's actually, this is a super aspirate, like tool,
Tool.
tool, tool,
Tool.
tool. Yeah,
Tool.
tool.
Did I pronounce okay?
Yep, you did good. You want to read it once more? We also should practice our pronunciation, I guess, since we're at it. Can you say it again,
Le
Sant?
uh, Ju Chi Le Truna.
Yeah. I would say, but for example, when you read, your pronunciation is good, but one thing that you can, when you're reading Tibetan, because Tibetan doesn't have periods or words, right? You would, Kempo would say, Ju, Chile, Tulna. Like Chile goes together, right?
Mhm.
From
Oh,
what?
okay. I get
Yeah,
what you mean.
Chile, Tulna. Like
I was,
if you ever go to a teaching when the Kempo is reading, the where the Kempo is stopping is telling you where the parts are.
where the parts of the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
sentences.
yeah. This is
Oh
how you
yeah.
can tell somebody doesn't know. They can, some people can read Tibetan, but they don't know the meaning. This is how you can tell. They go like nam pa.
I was so used
ul.
to like puja chanting.
Oh yeah, yeah. Puja chanting, you just like da 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 da
Yeah,
da.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Used to that.
Yeah. No, for this text, we have to. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
not
know
this
where
is
are
not
the
verse.
parts. Okay,
Yeah,
I
you
get
have
what I
to,
mean.
the way you read it is telling the listener also like, oh, this
Mhm.
is, so you have to,
Mhm.
in your brain you have to break it together.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
so
the
just
sound,
like the next sentence is like ma ripa chimpu true low.
yeah, I would even say together. Ma rikpa, because that's one word, right? If
Rikpa.
you
Ma
say
ripa is
ma,
one part. Okay.
if you separate it, it makes me feel like it's a mother, you know,
Mhm.
ma rikpa.
Okay,
Mhm.
You would say ma rikpa.
okay.
It's like
Okay.
you say like, oh, my
So
mother
so
is
when the
rikpa.
negation can
Chimpa.
go together as one chunk.
Exactly. Ma rikpa, chepu, tulo. Yeah.
Two. Two. Two.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
like
got it.
chunk it, chunk it.
Yeah, we'll work on this more.
Yeah. So okay, so everyone is okay with this one?
Mhm.
Oof,
Yeah.
from yeah. Now you wanna try this one, Kip?
So for this one, I had confusion is by means of, or I thought it might sound better to say caused by, but anyway, I have confusion is by means of or caused by great ignorance.
I would, if it sounds better in English, I would keep it. It's, I mean, as long as the meaning is coming through, you know, even though there's no cost. But actually, it would be correct because the cost is here. What is the cost, right? I think it's okay
Oh, I
since
see.
you're replying to that question. I would say it's okay to use the cost. The
Yeah,
cost
I guess
of,
at some point, yeah, thinking of these as question answer couplets, I guess at some point I thought, well, is it okay to borrow from the question to make a logical thought for the answer? And
I would say so, yeah. So, is this clear for everyone? Yeah. So
Yep, very clear.
we're stopping here. Try to finish. Well, how much did we do? I guess today we didn't do much because I was showing that other thing, but for next
Mhm.
class, maybe if we can even go to up to the next page, up to
Next
here, it would
page.
be great. Up to here, it would be
Okay.
great. Try your best, okay, to reach here.
that's at the top of the next page.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the first line. Try to reach to there. If you're really stuck, of course, let me know during, if you get stuck, send a message to the group or I guess privately, or send it to the group. I don't know, whatever you guys think is best. Okay.
Never the main thing is still left only three of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Now there is only 3 survivors.
See how far we can go.
Yeah, no, it's good. We'll take it. There's some cool parts coming up. This is a cool text. I like it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so that's it for now. We'll say our dedication. 써남디 탐체시 바니 탐네니 베 하나 탐체 제가 하나지 만원 뚜카이 시베존